Page 4, Dear Theodosia, the musical Hamilton. It's a rather challenging piece, but you might enjoy it. Let's talk about it. Again, I go through the system I use, and you can do whatever. I look it over. This is 3 pages of music long. There is a repeat sign, but it's 3 pages of music to deal with. Treble and bass clef, at least to start. There's one flat in the key signature, so it's either in the key of F major or D minor. We look at the end on page 6. We're here. I mean, it's a weird chord, but it's an F. We're going to pretend it's an F major. So I'm going to do the scales and arpeggios for F major and D minor, because D minor has one flat also. And 4/4 time signature. I take it one hand at a time, make sure I have a fingering that works for me, and I know the rhythm. At the beginning, it's the half notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. And then I have to jump down. 1 and 2 and 1, 4, 1. Now, let's look at measures 9 and 10 slowly. The measure 9's not so bad. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And that's tied to the next measure. So when you get to measure 10, you're already holding it down. And this is 1 and 2 and 3. So the 16th notes are 1E and 1E and 2E and So again, in measure 10, the quarter note gets a beat. The dot gets half a beat, so that's 1 and, and then something comes on next, and that's the quarter note, or 16th notes. So it's 1E and 2E and, this comes on the end of 2. 1 and 2 and 3 and that's tied. 3 and 4 and 1. So go back to measure 9 again. It's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. That's how I work them out. Now I'm only counting to work it out, to get an idea what's going on. Once I work it out and I speed it up and I can feel it, I can feel that, I don't need to count it anymore. Now I might need to count measure 10 because that first note's held out longer than I think it should be. So it's 1 and 2. Yeah. Now jump down to measure 15. We're here. See, rhythm-wise, measure 15 is very similar in rhythm to measure 10, except instead of a dotted quarter note, it's a quarter note with a rest. Counting-wise, it's the same. So it's, in measure 15 is 1 and 2 and 2E and a 2E. It's the same rhythm as. It's the same rhythm. But then on the 8th notes, I don't want to cross over here. Nothing wrong with it. I just don't want to do it. But I can spread out and 4, 3, 2. I don't have to cross over. That's how I'm going to do it. And then during the rest, I come down. Now, measure 17 here. 1 and 1. Rather quick. If you don't want to use the awkward fingers, it's good practice. You should. Then reach up and do it here. Something like that. I'll leave the fingering up to you and your teacher. At the end, bottom page 6, we're here. 1, 2, and then for the last 2 measures, I do a 2-5, then a 1-4. That way I get all those notes in one hand position, and then come up. And the squiggly line, I'll come back to that. Right now it's just that. If you have little hands and that doesn't fit, you can play both of those notes with the thumb. There's nothing wrong with it. I do it sometimes. I have to stretch the thumb. It can play 2 notes when it needs to. Left hand, well, this rhythm. It's 1 and 2 and, or 1E and 2E and. Take out the tie and play all those notes. Huh? 1. That's all it is. And once you have an idea of that, then put the tie in. Just hang on to it. idea? Now it is kind of nice if we can connect these half notes here. Here. So if you do that, use third finger. 4, 5. Here. Or you can use 4, then a 5, then 4. So you got 2 of them. I can use 5, 4. I can do that if I want to. It's just feel the bass line as you go through that. Then starting at measure, 5, it's here. We've got 2 voices. We've had 2 voices from the beginning. You're holding the half notes down, I hope. This is what we did at the beginning, is different rhythm. On measure 4 and on measure 8, the last 2 beats. Those are quarter notes. So the stem's going down, those are quarter notes. Hold them down. But they're also eighth notes, because it's 2 voices and both voices happen to be playing the same note. It's all here. So you're doing 2 voices. That's all that. Sound-wise, it won't matter much with the pedal. It's just we want to feel these. We want to feel the line, the flow of the line of the different voices when I can. In piano, it has to do with interpreting the music. So you're not just playing note, 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 note. Now we get over to page, or measure 25 at the end. Here, that's a broken chord, but we can, see, we got more than an octave, and there's different ways of fingering. If you have large hands, you go 3. You just kind of go up and down. Otherwise, you cross over. That's fine. Try and use 4th finger on the last note, measure 25, so we can use 5th on measure 26. So again. Here, and then here. And again, 4th finger for measure 26, end it with 4, so we can use 5th finger for the next measure. Yeah. And the last 2 measures, make sure you hold the whole note down here, and then come down. I use 5-2 at the end. Once I have an idea of the fingering and the rhythm and so forth for each hand, I try and put them together, and I'll hesitate, but that's okay. Just trying to figure out which fingers are working together. We're here, then here, here. Let's go down to measure 9. We're here. See, you can see how the eighth notes line up between the stabs, and this is 1 and 2 and again 1 and 2. These are all down. There, see, these are down. So again, measure 10. Okay, so I put the hands together. And then I'll go back over just a few measures at a time, and I'll get rid of the hesitations. Keep it slow, but no hesitations. And once all the hesitations are gone, I'll think about the articulation. Here it's just very connected. Just you're connecting everything. And then come down. You're just connecting it. You get rest in between the phrases you lift up. And the left hand, I would connect it if I can. Connect it if I can. Even when the right hand lifts up, I'd still connect the left hand. It has to do with the way the music is written. If you look at measure 7, we're here. You have an 8th rest in the right hand, so you're resting. You also get an 8th rest in the bottom staff, but that's indicating the top voice, because there's 2 voices. This voice and this voice. That's another voice. So they have to have the 8th rest in the bottom staff also for the other voice in the left hand. So 2 voices are resting, and then in case you're wondering, why is it kind of rest there? What's going on? It's multiple voices, and that's how they notate them. Now, once I have an idea of the articulation, I think about the dynamics. It starts out soft. It's going to be here, the right hand. And then in measure 5, melody. Everything else is in the background. melody. We want to hear the melody. The melody is sort of soft, so the left hand's going to be really soft. So you can put in the dynamics. And then the speed. Allegretto, think of the melody. You listen to recordings of it. You get an idea how fast. And they use rubato in when they sing it. They're giving and taking a little bit. They're not singing exact eighth notes here. They use rubato. It's more like speaking. But the overall beat is the same. And if you want to add the rubato, that's fine. That's part of interpreting it. I do that last. Right now, I'm still playing eighth notes. Here. Boring old eighth notes. But it's the speed. Dear Theodosia. How fast do you want that to go? And this is a rather quick piece. Now the repeat sign. Measure 12, that sends you back to the reverse repeat sign. At measure 5, you do all of that again. But this has first and second endings. You see the first ending starts at measure 9. So the second time when you finish measure 8, you immediately jump over to measure 13 and keep going. That's why there's two sets of words. They're singing both words. I don't sing in these videos. They're bad enough as all. You can sing if you want. I don't care. I can't hear you. It's up to you. But I just play it. Now, if you're accompanying somebody who is singing, then let them do the melody and you lay off. You play the melody like it's accompaniment. Play it off. If there's a singer. Now, if it's a solo, you bring the melody out. Bring out the melody if you're playing a solo, or if your singer doesn't know the melody very well, you can bring it out and help them out. Otherwise, keep the melody in the background too. Now they've added pedal, and that's okay. See, I'll learn it without pedal first. I will make sure the fingers are doing what they need to do. We add pedal, we can hear the difference the pedal makes. I start with the pedaling suggested, but if I don't like it, I change it. I don't like a blurry melody, but we'll see. They're changing it pretty much with the harmony, and that's just at first it's every measure, but later on it might be twice a measure or whatever. We're changing it with the harmony, or we're changing it to try and keep the melody clean, whatever. Now again, because it's quick, you pretty much got to put the pedal down with the notes. Change it with the notes. I'm going to overlap slightly, but barely. Pedaling with the bass compartment. If that's okay with you, that's fine. Go with it. I don't know that I like that. It's a little blurry for me. Now, another way I might try it is I'll measure 5. Maybe I just pedal beats 2 and 4. Huh? That works better. I like that better because this way it cleans it out. It helps me connect the left hand. These notes, I like these notes. So I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to pedal it on beats 2 and 4 pretty much throughout, except on the measures like measure 11 and 12 here. There you can pedal it like a show. But on measure 13 here, and then 14. See, I just pedaled beats 2 and 4. Keep 17, that's clearer. So forth. So try that out. Experiment with the pedaling of the sound. Just, you don't need a blurry sound all the time. Like in measure 15. Just yuck. But if you just pedal the last beat, like that better. Squiggly line at the end, just one note at a time. Roll chord, hold them down. How fast you roll is up to you. It slows down, and when it does that, I usually slow the roll down here. So, and I play the bottom note with the beat. I don't. No, I play the bottom like so. You do it however you teach it. People will interpret the wavy line a little bit differently. I'm not going to get into it. The page turn. How do you do the page turn? You need to be able to do the page turn without messing up the beat. Ideally, you memorize it. Well, if you can't memorize it, is there somebody to turn the page for you? You can't do that. You got to turn the page yourself. You got to figure out, where can I do it without messing up the beat? Ideally, there's a spot somewhere where one hand isn't busy, and that way, if it's resting, that way you can turn the page there. In this case, there isn't. Both hands are busy all the time. If that's the case, you got to leave out notes. Don't want to leave out notes, but if you have to, you have to. We can't leave out melody notes. So like a measure 18 here, maybe I just do just a little bit. I leave out the others, and then I turn the page with the left hand right quick. Something like that, because you got to keep the beat going no matter what. Please don't mess up the beat because you turn a page.